Hello, hello! Happy Monday! I hope you guys are so excited about our mathematic time. So, we're going to learn a little bit more about mathematics and what it is all about. So remember, we learned so many things already. Who remembers our big word in math? The word for mathematics, what it means. The art of, do you remember that word? Computation. Good job. You remembered it. Good. So the art of computation. So we learn about that, about all of the tools that man has made in order to be able to count, right? Like the abacus and the calculator, the computer. We remember that. We remember how math starts with God. Right? It all comes from God because God himself has math in him. It was his idea, right? It was his idea. Remember, he's 3 in 1. He knows how many hair you have on your head. Have you ever tried to count your hair? That's so hard, right? But God knows. So God, it all comes from God. And remember our tree with the 5 branches, because there's different types of mathematics that we can learn and that we will learn here in school. And so right now we're learning about geometry, right? We're learning about our shapes, and we're learning about arithmetic, which is counting. Right? We're learning all about our numbers and what they represent. Very good. So you remember all the things we've learned. Well, now we're going to talk about something a little bit more, let's say a little bit deeper. Let's see if you can think about that. This is called the chain of Christianity. And that is how Christianity and God, the gospel, the Bible, how God helped men understand more about him and how God used math. He did. He used math to help bring about his liberty and to bring about his kingdom on the earth. And so God has used mathematics from the very beginning of time, from creation, right? Remember at the very beginning when God created one sun and one moon? Do you remember that? And many stars, and he said he could count the stars. He knows the stars by name. He knows how many stars are in the universe. Isn't that incredible? Can you count the stars? Have you ever tried? Yeah, that's very hard. We can't do it, but God can. So see, God have used math from the beginning to point to Jesus. When Jesus came, and then when Jesus came, the gospel was able to go all around the world, right? And it's still going. So, everything started, you see this map right here? Miss Sarah gave you a map so you would know. Because we're going to talk about the chain of Christianity many times. Many times we're going to bring up the chain of Christianity. Not just in math, but in many, and especially in history and in geography. So we can... Okay, so the chain of Christianity, right? So it started at the very beginning. Did you know that it was in Asia? You see the pink area? Say it with me, Asia. That's the continent of Asia. You see how the world is separated into continents? There's North America, South America. So all this is the Americas, okay? We call it the Americas. And then there's Europe right here in orange. And France is right there, right? Where Miss Sarah is from. And then there's Asia. So in Asia, you have India, you have Singapore, you have Japan, you have China, Russia, right? And you have all the Middle East, right? Turkey. Oh, there's a country called Turkey. How fun is that? Okay, so in this area right here is where Jesus was born. Yeah, that's where he lived, in that area, in the Middle East, right there. Okay? So, oh, and I forgot to tell you, the yellow is Africa. And then there's Antarctica down there. Okay, but right now we're talking about Asia. You see, Asia is all the pink. And right here, if you can try to see, I don't know if you can see, let me see if I can show you from close. Okay, right here, right there is where Jesus was. That was the area where he was. So from there, did you know that it was there in Asia that the numbers were invented? Or they were written. They were not invented because God created them, but they got to be thought about, and that is where the numbers started. Yeah, that's where all the numbers started. They started naming the numbers and writing the numbers and doing things like that. That was in Asia. And then years later, it went to Europe. See, it traveled from Asia. People brought the ideas of the numbers to Europe. And in Europe, math was developed. A lot of people started thinking about math, thinking about navigation, thinking about, how to use math to help us to understand more of the world and what is happening, and to help us, to do trading and to navigate and to travel, to do more things. So over here in Europe, it was developed because do you know that you need to know how to count in order to get on a ship? And to know how to build a ship, how to build houses, you need to know how to count. Right, you do. You need to know how to count, how to build things. Right, and so in Europe, the numbers were developed. They started growing. People started understanding what to do with numbers. So we can do many, many, many things. And then from there, it went to North America and to South America. So it went to the Americas. And in the Americas, that is where the numbers were used to help propagate the gospel. Remember what propagate means? It means to talk to people about Jesus, right? And the numbers were used in Americas. They started being used to have a purpose. There's a reason why we have math, and that's to help the kingdom. That's to help bring the gospel to people who don't know about Jesus. So we call that the chain of Christianity. And in many areas, this is how the gospel was moved. And mathematics is the same way. God used math to bring about, he uses math to bring about his liberty. So we go from Asia. So I want you to take a black marker and you're going to say Asia. Say it loud. Asia. Very good. So from Asia, you go to Europe. So we're going to make a big arrow like this. You see, Miss Sarah? And it's okay if it covers some things. It's all right. We just want to see where the gospel goes, or where mathematics go. It goes from Asia to Europe. Yeah. And then from Europe, years and years later, it went into the Americas. So it goes from Europe and it goes across the Atlantic Ocean to America. Oh, I'm making a big black arrow. You see my arrow right here? There we go, to America. So see, it went from Asia to Europe, from Europe to America. So say it with me. Asia to Europe, Europe to America, to America. That's how the numbers have, the ideas of numbers and counting and all of the 5 branches of mathematics got developed, and then they got taken to America, and in America it's helping to propagate the gospel. All right, very good. So this is the chain of Christianity. So when you get older, you're going to learn about all the details about that. But right now, that's what we need to learn. Asia to Europe, Europe to America. Okay, let's not forget the chain of Christianity. That's how it goes. So for group just want you to color Asia, Europe, America. I want you to color them, okay? And then for group B, you're going to write it. You're going to write Asia, number 1. And number 2, you're going to write Europe. And number 3, you're going to write America. Okay? Can you do that? That's all you have to do. So really big, you're going to write Asia. And then number 2, you're going to write Europe. And number 3, you're going to write America. And that is the chain of Christianity. In Asia, the numbers started. This is where the numbers started. In Europe, this is where math was developed. And in America, this is where math helped propagate the gospel. Very good. So now we know about the chain of Christianity.